It doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach to things, which I think is really important. So many of our listeners, especially women, are burned out, not because they don't care, but because they care deeply and they're constantly giving. How do you see burnout fitting into this kind of broader conversation about purpose and meaning?
See, especially for people who are empathetic, who
Mhm.
feel the suffering of others, they carry a big cross and they
Yeah.
burn out. I think there are a lot of reasons for that. From what I have observed, one is a lack of agency. We feel very powerless because we look at all these horrible wars and horrible things going on that we can't do anything about. And it requires a bit of training to shift your focus from what you cannot do anything about to anything you can do something about. I'd say
Yeah.
starting thing. So, I mean, this doesn't apply to Western context, but you can translate this in India. Like, I tell people, anything, just put a bowl of water for birds. In the cities, they can't even find water. So start
Mm.
somewhere. One, it helps somebody, and two, it gives you agency that there is something I can do about. Then you need to, it comes down to serenity prayer. You need to be able to differentiate between what is something you can control and what is something you don't have any
Mhm.
control on, and then learn to shift your focus. We are, how we talked about that we are never taught in schools about life, about happiness. One
Mhm.
thing we are never told about is how to focus. They keep telling us, no, focus on your studies, focus on this, focus on that. Yeah, but they never teach us how.
That is true.
So, but like anything else, you learn, you read about the technique and you practice it. And eventually, when you are focused on what you can do something about, and you tune everything else out, so you tend to not burn out as easily. But there is one more thing
Yeah.
that is not visible. People look at me and people think, wow, you've been doing this for more than 10 years. How do you never burn out? What they don't see is a lot of my energy goes in keeping myself sane.
That is probably a good thing to practice.
Yeah. You have to remind
Absolutely.
yourself that, okay, this is all I can do. It's not a cop out,
Yeah.
but it's acceptance.